Movistar Riders shocked everyone by going 5-0 undefeated in their Pro League group. But how did they do it? Well, I'm Hawka, the Counter-Strike scholar, and I'm here to figure that out for you. Their big wins against Gambit and Liquid came on the decider map of Ancient, and against Liquid, they even lost both pistols but went on to win the map. So I figured I'd look at those Ancient maps to figure out exactly what Movistar Riders are doing and what their playstyle is like that's getting them those dubs. At the start of round 7, Liquid are on a scrappy buy and go for this really cool triple boost for OC to get this pick with the AWP all the way through the doors. So Movistar Riders have to bounce back from a 4v5. To do this, they decide to commit to the standard B execute, which is something they like to run quite often, and you can see these fast landing smokes coming into the site, as well as a molly for Cubby, and unfortunately a missed molly for Cave on this occasion. What I really liked about this, though, was the adaptation on the fly. The CTs put a smoke down towards B ramp, and Movistar quickly respond with a boost over the top so that Alex can get this info, and then he doesn't go ahead and pull the trigger instantly. He keeps his cool because he knows he can walk through this smoke and get them control of the site, because those smokes mean Shox is isolated. Liquid do stall for long enough for these smokes to fade and to make things slightly awkward for a second, but Movistar stay on top. We've got this spam coming in from DaviG over at Cave, which the pros are so good at nowadays. It lands perfectly to deny the defuse. And then we get a few more shenanigans at the end with this cheeky AWP shot to close it. You also get a good example of Movistar's willingness to run the clock down in their first gun round. They run it down to about 30 seconds before finally throwing the smokes and committing to this B exec. You can see here from some Pius the jump thrown smoke to the right side, so because it hits the roof, it's going to go ahead and land slightly sooner, which is what you want. You want to have that extra pace on these B plays. And again, because this is such a procedural take, some Pius, once he clears Cubby, knows that he doesn't have to look anywhere except for the boost over the top of the smoke, which some teams might have overlooked, but some Pius is right on the money as he gets both of these kills. And it's these small details that can make a big difference. We get another example of that slow pace in round number 9, but one of the problems you can run into when running these slow pace plays is that if your opponents go aggressive at the right time, they can get all the information and read you like a book at the end of the round. And they run the risk of that happening in this one, because Liquid go aggressive and fully clear out B lane with only 30 seconds left on the clock, but this is where the pace of the push is so important. And Movistar know this. They have this smoke lineup from mid, which is going to help them on their A play. They have two players sitting side by side in the donut smoke, so that best case scenario, Elige can get one kill out of this, and now they can up the pace. And while Nitro knows he just needs to try and buy time in this smoke, his gun barrel pokes out for a split second, which Deaths punishes him for, and now the players pushing from Donut only need to focus on cutting off those rotations. They can get themselves into a good post-plant position where they can win the round, and just getting that quick Donut kill and that quick A main kill is what makes them be able to take the site before those rotates come into place. This round I loved so much that even though Movistar Riders didn't win it, I knew I had to include it in the video because the ideas and the concepts behind it are so cool. So far throughout this game, Movistar Riders have been setting a pretty slow pace on their T side, generally taking a lot of time in their rounds. But in this one, they're planning a faster B play, so they purposely stick with a Tech 9 and a Mac 10 instead of asking Alex to drop an AK with his extra cash. Then we get DaviG throwing the molly to the top of the ramp, and if we pause here, it's important to point out that this is quite a common molly to use when you're defaulting across the map and you don't have many players towards B, so you want to stop the CT aggression, which can come through quite often. But Movistar are going to play with this tendency here by instantly smoking their own molly, which is something Liquid are almost certainly not expecting, and it allows Movistar Riders to quickly swarm out on towards the bomb site. And they have a couple of smokes lined up, which are going to help them fully focus on pushing through this site. Taking a look at the radar for a second, you can see the idea behind having these two smokes in play to create a wall on this left-hand side. And the thing I love about this play is oftentimes it can be really hard to get the bomb down on Ancient, because even if you put those smokes up, the spams through the smokes with the silenced M4s are really powerful. So by gaining all of this ground in towards this back square position, Movistar Riders are making the bomb plant so much easier. And then because they've taken the site so soon, they even have another smoke for CT to buy even further time. Eventually, Liquid are able to put the pieces together in this round for the retake, but it still comes pretty close, and I think this is a really cool idea for a play that has a lot of potential going forwards. Okay, I talked about that round for way too long, and I'm sure some of you want less talk and more shooty, shooty, bang, bang. I can't say that line without a straight face, but I'm going to go ahead and fulfill your wishes. This is a really nice example of the composure that Movistar had even when rounds started to go wrong. In this one, Movistar are down in a 2v4 after the start of the round has gone pretty damn poorly for them, and so Deaths has to bring the bomb back to spawn, back towards A, and this becomes an awkward, drawn-out, extended fight against Nitro, but with the bomb on his back, he knows he needs to win it, and he does just that. And while this is happening, Alex has been able to sneak his way into a really advanced position, something that Liquid had not accounted for in their initial default because they were on a lower buy in this round. And instead of just taking the one free kill with little time left on the clock, Alex realizes they're not going to check him and that he can play for 2 frags, cutting off this rotation. Again, really cool to see the comfort level on display, considering there's 10 seconds left on the clock when Alex finally pulls the trigger and the bomb still has to get to the site. But also really cool that the comms were clearly good here, because you can see from Death's POV, he tucks against this wall until Alex has got those kills. That's when he moves towards the site, and turns out they don't need the bomb plant because they win by elimination. Switching over to Movistar's CT side, I think the most distinct part of their CT playstyle was Mopoz's aggression around the cave and Jaguar positions. He was pretty unrelenting in his aggression in a lot of these rounds. I love that Movistar had a couple of rounds they threw in there with teammates backing him up to make sure that it was always unpredictable. You can see in this one, he is pushing with the boys, and that means that Pius gets a couple of easy chances for frags. And they also have Alex close by, having pushed down the B ramp, so that once this commotion begins, he can kick into gear and get himself a nice kill. And this actually turns into a bit of a highlight round for Alex, which I'm going to show, because my first name is Alex too. It's all love here on the Hawka channel. And then there's another good example of one of these tricky plays against the CIS side players. Very early in this round, we get a flash over from Pius all the way over on A to set up Mopoz's aggression going in towards mid. And this is partly allowed because of Mopoz's own aggression and utility, but also partly thanks to this smoke coming in all the way from spawn, which helps them control this B lane early in the round and set up this aggro play. Then from here, Movistar established B lane control with 3 players. Alex takes the initial fight and then gets traded. Davy G slides out after this and players take him down. And this looks like a standard strong crossfire in this position that players think they've overcome. So they completely overlook Mopoz, who's been sitting tucked in this cubby the whole time. He can come in for the flank, and he's not expected to be here so quickly. He causes an absolute ruckus in from behind and turns it into a highlight play. And it's another great example of how they're using his aggression to set him up with his teammates in some of these later round scenarios. And then finally, it's another one of these B plays. Again, pretty quick smokes out to the site. It's that man Mopoz, who is the king of aggression, going in first when they need him to, just jumping round for that initial frag. And it's always important to have individuals overperform in some of these late round scenarios, in some of these tight rounds. And that's what Movistar Riders had, which some people may not have been expecting from them. This time it's Alex and Davy G combining for a really impressive 2v4. And I think it's important to point out that the strats and the tactical side of the game was there, but also that it does sometimes take the overperformance from individuals to make sure you can get those wins over the line. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, why not check out another one? YouTube thinks you'll like this video over here, and I've got my own special recommendation for you over here. Oh, and also, if you made it to the end of the video, you probably enjoyed it, so why not subscribe? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.